So the game starts with e4, the standard king's pawn opening. From this, white is proclaiming the control over center. It's called the very aggressive opening. And in response to e4, black plays c5, the Sicilian defense. Black is actually controlling the center from this flank pawn. He's targeting on d4 square and maintaining his central pawns for the later use, so that whenever you play d4, they will simply just take it. You takes, and guess what? You have just lost a central pawn. Your queen is in the center, but it will become an easy target by knight to this c6. That being said, black plays Sicilian defense pawn to c5 just because he wants to counter your central control and saving his central pawns for the later advancement. And guess what? In this video, I'm going to show you 5 ways through which you can counter this c5, the Sicilian defense. So that's why, guys, this video is very important for you. Now let's take a look on all those 5 ways. The first way is b4, then we have a3, now we have c3. Then we can go with knight f3, or we can also play knight c6. So these are the 5 ways through which you can counter this c5 maneuver. Let's start our move with b4. This is called the Wing's Gambit, and it is actually very aggressive because from the Wing's Gambit you are sacrificing your flank pawn so that the control of the d4 square just torn off. Now pawn takes pawn, we have bishop b2 controlling this whole large diagonal, then we have knight c6, and we go with d4. Since the pawn is not at c5, we are free to go with d4. That's fine. We have d5 just countering our center control. We play pawn takes pawn, queen take this pawn, and then we have c4 hitting on this queen, like from this way. So our opponent can play en passant, which is actually the most played move. 75% people are gonna play is en passant maneuver. Then we have knight take this pawn, hitting on this queen. So queen take this pawn, offering a queen trade, because after queen takes queen, knight takes queen, and then knight will have very great control over the center. So that's why, guys, it's not favorable for us. So what you can do, it's actually knight d5. Now queen can't take this knight because queen takes queen is the very great threat. Queen can't take this bishop because knight c7 is just checkmate. Let me show you how. So queen take this bishop, and then we have knight c7, a checkmate, because there is no other way to escape. So that's why, guys, queen has to take the queen. Then we have rook takes queen, that's fine. And guess what? If your opponent plays knight f6 to hit on this knight, still it's knight c7 checkmate, because rook is doing the same thing that queen was doing earlier. So that's why knight to c6 is not a good move. Instead, bishop d7 can be a good option, but it will still met with knight c7, a fork on this king. So king moves away, then just grab this rook. Guess what? You have actually very great lead. You have just cleared off your opponent's queen side structure. The king is in center. This bishop is pinned. Guess what? Our king is still in center, yes, but after development, like bishop to this, like not there. Bishop to this b5, then we have knight development, and we can simply go for castle. So our king actually a bit lot more safer than our opponent. Guess what? We have 3-point lead also. So yes, we can win this game. So guys, we are back on the initial position where we discussed b4, the Wing's Gambit. Let's say what will happen if we play a3. This is called the Mangarini attack. We are playing a3 in the advance to solidify our control on the b4 square. So whenever we play b4, pawn takes pawn met with pawn takes pawn, and we have open rook file. That is what Mangarini attack is. We are actually involving our rook right from the start. That's impressive, right? So what do we have? Knight c6, the traditional Sicilian defense structure. We simply go with b4, pawn takes pawn, and we have pawn takes pawn. Rook now has become active. That's fine. Knight takes this pawn because this pawn was hanging. Then we have pawn to c3 hitting on this knight. Knight moves away, simply go with d4, just controlling large portion in the center. Then we have d5 countering the center. We have pawn takes pawn, queen takes pawn, that's fine. Then we have knight to this a3 because we have to control these two major squares. At this point of time, if we look at the database, the most played move is e5 to counter the control in the center. So we have e5, then we play knight to this b5 going for this great attack. Queen can't take this knight because this knight is defended by the bishop. Moreover, queen has to guard this c7 square because knight c7 is actually a mega and royal fork on the king. This is the king, queen, and the rook. So that's why, guys, queen d8 is the only option that seems to be fine. Then we have d5 hitting on this knight. Knight moves away, and we play d6 to control this c7 square and also to restrict the bishop's advancement. Right? You know, the bishop is just trapped. So that's why this move is very important. If your opponent played knight a6 so that this square can be guarded, but it's a very grievous mistake, guys, because we have rook sacrifice, pawn takes, then we have knight to this c7. Guess what? Yes, king has to move away, but now this rook is just lost. So that's fine. You can win this game. Now guys, what will happen if I tell you that you can take this queen also? For that, you have to unleash 3 more attackers. Like, since we have sacrificed our queen side pawns, so right now we have very great and great attacking position. Our pieces are actually very flexible, so we can let them enter into the attack ranges. So that's why guys, in this position, when the moment king moves at d7, you have to play queen a4 hitting on this king. Let's say king take this pawn. Now we have knight e8, check on this king. So king e6, and then we have bishop c4, again a check on the king. If king goes to e7, guess what? We have bishop e3, queen d6, and we have bishop take this queen. So king again has to move away. Bishop c7 check, king moves away. And now we have queen a6, a very key move here. Now let's say knight f6, a development. Then we simply go with queen d6 check, king takes, and we have final queen d8 checkmate. At this point of time, let's say if king f5, then what will happen? Then we have queen check, e4, then we have pawn check, e5, then we have again pawn check, then we have pawn takes pawn and en passant, then we have knight check, and now it's checkmate. So guys, we are back on the initial position where we discussed pawn to b4, the wings gambit, then we discussed a3, the Mangarini attack. It's time for us to discuss knight f3, a very traditional move here. Then we have normal development, knight c6, then we go with a b4. It's called the old Sicilian attack. Let's say if pawn takes pawn, then what do we have? It's d4, controlling the center, these squares, because you know right now pawn to c5 is not present to counter this d4 square. That's our key move in every Sicilian defense actually. Then we have d5 hitting on this pawn, we have pawn takes pawn, queen take, then we go with a c4 hitting on this queen, pawn takes pawn, then en passant knight takes hitting on this queen. This is the same technique which we use in the wings gambit, but this time it's actually different thing. So queen a5 pinning this knight to the king. Now we have rook b1 setting up a very great trap. So we have queen take this knight with a check on this king, bishop d2 hitting on this queen, so queen a3, and then we have d5 hitting on this knight. Knight goes back, then we have queen c2. Now queen c2 refers to queen c8 checkmate. Therefore bishop has to come at d7 to guard this square. Then we have bishop with this d5, it's bishop take bishop. We have queen c8, that just checkmate, that's fine. Let me show you. Bishop take bishop, it just meant queen to this c8 checkmate. Therefore we have knight a6 opening up rook's protection. Then what do we have? Bishop take bishop, king takes, then we have rook take this king. Guess what? This is actually very fatal. So king d8 if happens, then we have queen c6, this way checkmate. Let's say knight defending this square, then we have another knight going for this great checkmate. I mean, it's a 4, but it's a checkmate also. So right now there is nothing that black can do. It just end of the match. Let's say if king goes to king d6, then we have queen to c6, instant checkmate. King e8 is also one of the same thing. Let's say queen moves away with a c6 check. King goes to d8, we have queen d7 checkmate. So that's fine. This was very great tactics. It's called the Portsmouth Gambit in the old Sicilian defense. Okay guys, we are back on the initial position where we discussed b4, the wings gambit, a3, the Mangarini attack. Then we played knight f3, the old Sicilian, and in the old Sicilian we played b4, the Portsmouth gambit. Let's go on the very famous attack against the Sicilian defense. It is actually very aggressive. Personally, my most favorite opening against Sicilian defense, it's called the Alpine variation by pawn to c3. Now we have knight c6, a normal development move. Then we have d4, pawn takes pawn, pawn takes pawn. Guess what? Yes, we have a very great center control. Right now, we have deflected our opponent's flank pawn and we have preserved our central pawns. That's fine. Then we have d5 going for the center attack. Now, since these two pawns are connected, so d5 is actually one of the very great threat that black has to face right at the beginning of the match. Therefore, black plays d5 to control this advancement and attack on this pawn at e4. Then we have knight development, knight c3 hitting on this pawn twice. So pawn takes pawn and we play d5 hitting on this knight. Let's say knight comes to e5, then we play queen to this a4 check on this king. Like I said, queen a4 to a4 check and control of this whole fourth rank. So bishop hitting on the queen, we just take this pawn hitting on this knight. Let's say knight goes back to this g6, that's fine. And at this point of time, you could play bishop c4, like this is actually a very traditional move, a normal move, but it is actually a very passive move. Therefore, I will suggest you something different. It is knight b5, going for a very great threat here. Like bishop to this f4 is not possible because knight will take this bishop, but still after queen takes, Yes, knight to this c7 can become one of the options through which white can proceed. Therefore, your opponent may think to counter attack. Like knight c7 is indeed a fork, but what will happen if your opponent do something that will threaten your queen? So we have knight f6, and it is not me who's saying this, but at this position, knight f6 is one of the most played move. 49% people are gonna play knight f6 only, and at this moment, you will tell your opponent bye bye, because we have knight d6 checkmate. Guess what? This is a smaller mate, so it is actually very amazing. Let's say your opponent plays something different like queen a5 check on this king and also hitting on this knight, but that's not possible. It may possible because bishop take this knight, met with bishop take bishop, and now we have queen take bishop. So it can be one of the options from which black can proceed. But still, we can counter this attack by bishop d2 hitting on this queen directly. So queen has to defend first of all herself. Then we have bishop e3 hitting on this queen again. Queen to this a5 check on this king. Then we have b4 hitting on this queen. Queen takes. Guess what? What do we have? It's queen takes queen. Yes, guys, the queen takes queen is one of the options for the white. Therefore, queen will not take this pawn, but queen will play a4. And at this moment, you are gonna play, yes, knight to this d6 check on this king. And guess what, guys? King moves away. You could just play this maneuver. King moves away. We just go for this. King moves away. And this point, you just take this pawn. Let's say king moves away. You play this move again. King moves away. You go with this. King moves away. And this time, let me just make it. This time, you could take this rook. So, yes, you can win this game. Simply, you have 7 points lead. Okay, guys, we are on the last leg of this video where we have to discuss knight c3 maneuver. Like we have discussed 4 moves. So, this is the 5th move. Now we have d6, a normal close Sicilian defense. Then we have f4, opening from this side. Then we have knight c6, we have knight f3, normal development move. Then we have g6, bishop b5, and we have bishop d7. Just unpinning this knight. Then we have castles, and he played with a6, hitting on this bishop. So this point of time, you don't have to push your bishop back because that's a passive move. Just take this knight, bishop takes, then we have d3, solidifying the center. Then we have knight, bishop g7, controlling this knight here. I mean controlling this diagonal, hitting on this knight. Then we have queen even defending this knight because pawn takes pawn will simply just disrupt your pawn structure. So that's problematic. We have knight f6, queen h4, and we have castle. Because that's the most played move. 55% people are going to play castle. So we have castle. And this moment, since we have these two very great connected pawns, we could attack on the king side directly. And that is why f5 or ff, that is why f4 was a very great maneuver, because it opens up rook's file. It opens up bishop's diagonal and also attack on the king side. That's fine. Then we have f5 hitting on this pawn. We have b5 just marching forward from the queen side. So we have bishop s6 offering a trade of bishops, and also queen h6 is one of the very major threat that black has to face. Therefore, we have b4 going for advancement. We just go with knight to this g5 going for all full-fledged attack. So we have pawn takes knight and we have pawn takes pawn. So we have pawn takes pawn again. We have bishop take bishop. King takes. Guess what? We have rook take this knight, a rook sacrifice. Pawn take this rook, and we have queen to this s7, a checkmate. That's fine. But what will happen if your opponent play rook takes rook? Then what do we have? Yes, queen to the s7 check, king f8. Then we have queen h8 checkmate. Guess what? It is actually one of the very good maneuver to go for a checkmate. Let's say, guys, if king take this rook, then what if we have rook check, king moves away, then we have queen check, king moves away. Again, knight to this e6. It's a checkmate, but it is actually a royal fork. So you can win this game. So guys, these were all the 5 ways through which you can actually counter the Sicilian defense in no time. Your opponent will literally get confused at how he has to proceed, and you will always have an edge in this kind of Sicilian game. So guys, thank you for watching. Thank you so much. If you have liked this video, then do comment, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. So I will meet you in the next video. Until then, take care.